Hey everybody, this is Mr. McKee again with Net 125. Today I'm going to be going over Packet Tracer 10.4.3, which is basic device configuration. Alright, there is three possible topologies that you'll get when you download this .pka file from Netacad, so just be aware of that. Now, the one I have starts of the IP version 4 addresses or networks start with 128. They have one that's starts with 128, one that starts with 172, and one that starts with 10. Now, I tried to do a video with the one that's a .172, and it was engraved correctly. Alright, so I decided to go with the 128 for this demonstration. Alright, so the .10, the IP address will be different, but just know that the 172, don't use that one because the IP version 4, or I'm sorry, IP version 6 addresses do not grade correctly. Alright, and once it did that, I didn't keep going, I just kind of like stopped and changed. And what you do, every time you hit reset activity, I think it's like a random generated version, so you might have to hit it a couple times, but you're going to lose all your information you've done so far, but then it'll change the topology. Alright, and what I'm doing, let me just show you. Obviously you can't write in this addressing table, so let me just fix what I had before. And the names are all of the devices will change also, so you'll need to fix that. Alright, so this addressing table right here I've downloaded and put on a Word document. Alright, so you'll fill out this will be where the router information goes, the 2 switches, and the 4 PCs. Alright, and I'll be I'll be going back and forth with that file as I fill in the addressing table. Alright, so basically let's go over the objectives, scenario, and the requirements. Alright, so you'll complete the network documentation, perform basic device configurations on a router and a switch, verify connectivity and troubleshoot any issues. Alright, your network manager is impressed with your performance in your job as a LAN technician. She would like you to demonstrate your ability to configure a router that connects to 2 LANs. Your tasks include configuring basic settings on a router and a switch using the Cisco IOS. You will also configure IP version 6 addressing on network devices and hosts. You will then verify the configurations by testing end-to-end connectivity. Your goal is to establish connectivity between all devices. Note the VLAN 1 interface on, and see it doesn't tell you, but will not be reachable over IP version 6. We'll figure out which switch that is referring to. In this activity, you will configure the router, switch, and the PC hosts. Note Packet Tracer will not score some configured values. However, these values are required to accomplish full connectivity in the network. Alright, and requirements: provide the missing information in the addressing table, name the router and the second switch, which I'm assuming that's switch B. So switch A you can't click on, so you can't configure it, and you can't connect a console cable to it or remote into it, so we'll be configuring college and class B. Alright, so you'll name the router and the switch. Cisco is the user exec password for all lines. Use class as the encrypted privilege exec password. Encrypt all plain text passwords. Configure an appropriate banner. Configure IP version 4 and IP version 6 addressing for the switch according to the addressing table. Configure IP versions 4. Well, it says that twice. The hosts are partially configured. Complete the IP version 4 addressing and fully configure the IP version 6 addresses according to the addressing table. Document interfaces with descriptions, including the VLAN 1 interface. Save your configurations. Verify connectivity between all devices. All devices should be able to ping all other devices with IP version 4 and IP version 6. Troubleshoot and document any issues. Implement the solutions necessary to enable and verify full end-to-end connectivity. Note, click check results button to see your progress. Click the reset activity button to generate a new set of requirements. Alright, obviously if you're doing some configurations, don't reset the activity because you'll lose all your what you've done so far. All right, so apparently when you download this thing off of, when you download the instruction sheet, which is like this one right here, off of Netacad, it's supposed to tell you some of the IP addressing, I would assume. All right, I can like, you know, figure out what it is, and that's what we're going to do in this case. But just so you know that I think they may have missed a step. All right, but first things first, let's go ahead and get this thing working. Now, if you mouse over your interfaces, all right, there's gigabit 00, it's going that way, and gigabit 01 is going that way. So I'm going to first, my description from gigabit 00 is going to be to Class A switch, and this one will be to Class B switch. All right, but we got to figure out what IP address that is. It didn't tell you what IP address this interface is supposed to be, but since that's going to be the default gateway from Class A's network, I'm assuming that it's 128.107.20.1. All right. So what I'm going to do in my device, and I'm going to name that college, and I'll show you what I'm doing when I got all this typed in. And actually, I'm going to do everything in red. Everything I change is going to be in red. Everything that was already there is going to be in black. All right, so I want that text color red. All right, so I'm assuming 128.107.20.1. And notice here, see how it says no default gateway? Your router's not going to have a default gateway, so that's NA for those. All right. And we're going to have an IP version 4 address, IP version 6 address, and a link local IP version 6 address. All right. So what we got to do is if we click check results, all right, notice here, because it doesn't tell you this, and I guess you can figure it out, but gigabit 00 that goes to, I'll show you where it goes again, but there's the IP address you have to use. All right, so I'm going to type that down in my addressing table. All right, 2001:DB8:A:1. All right, it is a \64. The IP version 4 address is a \24. I'll show you that again. All right, and the default gateway, I'm sorry, the link local is going to be FE80. :1. All right. Actually, you know what? Let me do this other one too. Close this. All right. So far, that's what I'm going to have. All right. As long as this is correct. That's my default gateway. That's my default gateway for the IP version 6 address, and there's the default gateway for the link local address. All right, now what I'll do also is, since I know that network more than likely is 128.107.30.1/24. All right, that'll be my default gateway. The default gateway IP version 6 address is going to be the same as the one going to Class A, except for it's going to have a B. So I'm going to change that B out. All right, let's see. I'm going to assume it's going to be FE80:1 for the link local address. All right, now this is what I got. All right, only thing I don't know for sure is what is the the SVI interfaces for the switches. We'll have to figure that out. Might be trial and error. I don't like doing that, but sometimes you got to do that. All right. So first things first. I'm going to try to follow these requirements down, but some of it will be out of order. All right. So provide the missing information in the addressing table. Name the router in the second switch. Which the second switch would be switch B. All right, so I'm going to put class -B as the device name. All right, now class B's IP address will be in the 128.107.30. All right, configure. So we'll be doing IP version 4 and IP version 6. We just got to figure out what the address is, which that might be an issue. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put in some of the configuration for. Whoops. I'm going to click on CLI. All right. And some of you guys say this is kind of hard to see, but I can't really zoom in on this thing, or I don't know how to. I can zoom in on that. I just can't zoom in on the CLI. All right, let's go to enable config T. All right, because the stuff I don't know, I know the names, but I want to. Well, let's do the host. Let's do host name, college. Oh. Man, my typing is off today. Host name. All right. Notice how it changed to college. We got 2% on our completion rate, so I would assume that's right. Let's go ahead and do interface gigabit 00. All right. You could do description first, I guess. Description, that's going to class A. All right, notice completion rate went to 4. And I'm going to note that on my addressing table. All right, to class A. All right, and the other one will be to class B. All right, now let's do the IP version 4 address. IP address. All right, 128.107.20.1. 255.255.255.0 since it's a /24. All right, completion rate went up. Let's do IP version 6 address. All right, now 2001 db8:a:1/64. All right, that looks right. All right, IPv6 FE80:1. How do I do it? Oh, IPv6 address. Whoops. All right, and the IP version 6 link local address is IP version 6 address FE80:1. Sometimes you just use 1 colon, but with :1 link local, get like that. All right, that should be it for that interface. We had our description. All right, let's go ahead and do the other interface. Alright, so that one is interface giga01. You see I'm going straight from this config interface to another interface. It lets you do that. Alright, 01 would be IP address 128.107.30.1 255.255.255.0. Alright, IPv6 address. Alright, that's going to be at 2001:db8:b:1. Alright, \64. Alright, that looks fine. Let's do IPv6 address. Oops. Address FE8. I'm going to try 80:1. Blank local. Why does that not look right? Maybe colon 1. Alright, like that. Alright. So that's good. Now one thing we got to do though, we got to turn on IP version 6. Multicast. Or unicast. Let's exit out that. Exit IPv6 unicast routing. Alright, that's one thing we definitely do need turned on. Now, since I don't know, it's kind of like a scavenger hunt at this point. Let's check and see what we have left for. Oh, you know what? I didn't do the description for gigabit 01, and I didn't turn it on. So let's fix that real quick. All right. So let's go to interface giga. Whoop, interface giga 01. Description to class B. Alright, there's description, and then we'll do, what else did it say? I forget. No shut. Let's look back at this thing. Alright, port status. Oh, that's what it was. I didn't turn port status on in gigabit 00 either. So let's do that real quick. Because remember, see how it's converging now for gigabit 01? Let's do interface gigabit 00, no shut. Remember, by default, interfaces on a router are off or are shut down. Ports on a switch are on. All right. And remember, these are layer 3 switches, but they're used as switches in this case. All right. So we got that. Now, the one thing, let's see. I'm going to wait until the last minute to configure the switch because I don't know the IP address of it. But we need to do a banner message of the day and console line and enable secret passwords for class. So let's go ahead and do that. And notice all this is class B. And it doesn't give me a VLAN IP address. So we're going to have to figure that out. So let's go back here. Let's go there. All right. So what do we have? We need let's see, encrypt all passwords. So let's just exit out of this. Now we need to do banner message of the day, hashtag, appropriate banner. Let's just do unauthorized. access is prohibited with an exclamation point. That sounds good. All right, completion rate went up. It liked it. All right, so privilege exec. Enable secret. It doesn't say it. Okay, yeah, okay. Encrypted privilege exec password. Okay, so enable secret, and it wants that to be class. Okay, and then we need to make all the lines Cisco for the password. So let's do line console 0 password class. Is that right? Oh no, Cisco. Let's do a no password. Alright, now let's do a password Cisco. Alright, and login. Alright, and then we need to do line VTY. I'll just do 0 to 15 if it'll let me do that. Alright, password Cisco login. Alright, I think that's good. Oh, we need to do exit, enable, no, I'm sorry, service, password encryption. Alright, now let's check our results. That should be everything for the router. We need to save the copy RS, copy running to start config, and we should be done with the router. Alright. So let's exit. Alright, copy running. Alright. So that right there, we're good. And unfortunately, I don't like to keep looking at this grading, but in this situation, we're gonna have to. All right, so next thing I want to do is class B. All right, so we'll do all the messages of the day, the passwords, the host name, and then we're going to do a little trial and error to figure out the IP address. Okay, so let's go here. Enable. All right, config T hostname. Hostname should be class B. Whoop, class B. All right, and it could be case sensitive. It liked it, so I think I'm good. Let's do line. Let's do enable. Enable password. Enable secret. And I believe it was enable secret class. All right. Let's do service password encryption right now, so we don't forget it. Let's do line console 0 password. Cisco. Login. Alright, line VTY 0 to 15. Password Cisco. Login. So I think all of that's good. Let's check this thing again. Alright, so all that's done. Banner needs to be done. Let's do that real quick. Alright. So let's exit. Let's do a banner MOTD hashtag unauthorized. Access is prohibited. Exclamation point, ending delimiter. Alright. So we're there. We're at 60. We're looking good so far. Let's check this out. And also we need to do start config, but we'll do that after we do the VLAN. But really, I guess it's just trial and error. And I'm assuming, I'll look back in, but it might be IP version 4. This is when they don't tell you some things, it's hard to figure it out. Alright, but let's take a look. Alright, so let's do interface VLAN 1 IP address, and I'm thinking it would be 30.1 is the default gateway. These PCs are set at 25. Maybe let me look at another one. Oh, they're all crazy looking. They're all crazy different. That one wouldn't even work. What's this one? 107, 30. I would think maybe 30.20. Let's try that. Let's do 128.107. 107.30.20. Hit a 255.255.255.0. Yep, that's it. That is pure luck. Now, definitely when you do that, write that down in your addressing table. So 128.107.30.20 /20. Or I'm sorry, /24. And I don't think it asked for a default gateway, but we might as well put it in there. Let's see, port status IP. Oh no, it just took the subnet mask. That's not right. The subnet mask is right. The IP address is not right. All right, I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to do a little trial and error and figure out the IP address. I'll be right back. All right, so I lucked out. I found out it was 128.107.30.15 is the SVI for Class B. All right, now we still need to do, let's do a description. And notice how I just did it. I just went down the line. There's never really any script you can run, I guess, but that's how I did it. Okay, so let's do a description. Description is going to be to college. The college router. All right, we need to do a no shut to turn that interface on. All right, and the last thing, what did I miss? Oh, we need to do copy the startup to the running, or the running to the startup. Exit, copy, run to start. All right, so now we're at 70. We're looking good so far. Excuse me. The only thing we probably need to do is turn on our interface. Well, configure our interfaces on all of our PCs. And I'm going to type this in my addressing table. All right, student 1, student 2, student 3, and student 4. And what's so funny, they're not even asking, well, they're asking us for the IP address for student 4, but they're not asking anything but the default gateway for all the rest. All right, so let's start with PC1. Whoops. All right, so see the default gateway. Make sure we don't really know the IP address. Is it right or wrong? But I'm going to type that in there just so I have it. 107.20.25 \24. Default gateway is going to be 128.107.20.1. All right, so we need our default gateway for IP version 6 also. All right, so our default gateway is that. It's going to which interface? It's going to gigabit 00. So remember 00 is this one. Wait, did I copy it wrong? Maybe I did. 2001 colon db8 colon a colon 164. All right, so actually what it's wanting us to do is actually change it just to automatic, so it's assigned. Since we have IP version 6 turned on, it's automatically assigning it, so that's fine. All right, so let's go to student 2, desktop, and default gateway 128.107.20.1. Is that what it is? I forget. 20. Whoop, I'm putting that in the wrong place. 128.107.20.1. All right, turn on automatic for IP version 6. Student 3. 128.107.30.125. So 128.107.30.1. All right, that was good. And let's go here. 172. Now notice this. That IP address looks very, very bad. And I'm going to assume, let's see, .25, this is .2530. This one's 25. I'm assuming this is going to be a 30. 128.107. 128.107.30.30. Yep, you like that. Let's do the full gateway. 128.107.30.1 and turn this on. All right, now we're at 100%. Now, I know that took a little bit longer than I hoped, but sometimes it works like that. All right, let's see. Troubleshoot any issues, implement solutions as necessary to enable and verify full end-to-end connectivity. One thing you want to do though is I'm going to fill in all of the IP addresses, not the auto assign IP version 6 addresses, but I'm going to put in the IP version 4 addresses. 128.107.20.25 and default gateway 128.107.20.1 and let's see. This is going to be 128.107.30. Whoops. 30.25. 128.107.30. Did I just mess that up? 30.1. Let me get back to this. That's it. Oh, that's it at 30. Okay. And notice if you don't know everything, like obviously I was just guessing on that, but the network engineer that designed this network, I know this is a very simple representation, but he used hopefully some pattern where you can figure out what's going on in there. All right, so let's see, 128.107.30.30 and 128.107.30.1. All right. So now what we have 128.107.30.1. All right, so the one thing that's everything completed. All right, the one thing we don't know, this is class A. You could guess what it is. I would guess 128.107.20.15. But I think didn't it tell us we couldn't connect to it? Where was it at? See, I wonder if I can ping that 128.107.30. What is it? 20.15. Yeah, it's probably not going to let us connect to it. .30.15. That's the only thing we don't know. Did it tell us? VLAN 1 interface on, and it doesn't tell us what that is, will not be reachable over IP version 6. I wouldn't even worry about that now, but yeah, we just don't know what that is. But whatever. It might have only have a IP version 6 address assigned to it, but we just don't know. But anyways, that's how you do that, and thanks for watching. But remember, if you get, there's 3 different versions. If you get the version that starts with a 172, the grading's not correct. I couldn't make the grading work, matter of fact, when I tried to configure it. So I changed the 128 IP version 4 addresses for the first octet. That one works, and then there's a 10.10 something. That, I don't know if that works or not, but I just know that this one works. But so if you do the 172, the IP version 6 addresses will not configure correctly, or will not grade correctly. All right, so just realize that. All right, but that's it. Thanks for watching. See you later.